everyone, it's Sammy from Scrapmaster's Paradise, and today I am starting week number 3. So I'm just starting this one on the back of the piece of cardstock that I ended week 2 on. I'm just going to get these photos arranged and then I will fill in with my journaling cards. I've got some journaling cards put aside, but I'm also going to be pulling cards from the Fine and Dandy Project Life Becky Higgins brand. But I've got some Cocoa Daisy I plan on using, and the one at the bottom here I end up changing out. I don't know, I was just having a really indecisive morning, so I was changing out cards a bunch before I decided what I liked on this one. I decided on the cards that I liked. I went ahead and assembled everything and stuck it to the 12 by 12 cardstock. Just used my ATG gun like always. I pulled out this little rose die cut from the February Freckled Fawn kit, and I just add a little bit of mono adhesive on the back of this one just because sometimes these cardstock die cuts tend to peel off for me over time, so I want to go ahead and make sure that it's secure. So I usually tend to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of a lot of these chipboard die cuts. I added another one of these chipboard die cuts to that top journaling card just as a little tag hanging down. And since the Freckled Fawn kit just matched this color palette very well, I just added one of the washi strips also. I had a little bit of trouble lining it up just right, so I peeled it off and lined it up again. I added a little title using some of these Studio Calico Color Theory letters. I really like these. I'll probably end up with more packs of these over time. I'm really trying to use up a lot of the alphas that I already have because I'm such an alphabet hoarder. I just have so many sets of alphas, so I flipped through everything and reorganized it. I mentioned that in my Scrap Chat video. I had filmed this before that Scrap Chat video, but since doing that, I've been able to flip through my alphabets a whole lot easier now that I have them all organized nicely. After adding the pancakes title, this page was done, so here's a quick look at it, and then I go ahead and flip over to a new piece of cardstock and start my next page. I've got these 2 bath time photos of Olivia, and I plan on doing a layout with these, so I'm just going to be scrapbooking on one side of this new cardstock sheet so that I save room in my album for the traditional layout. So you'll notice me pausing here looking at these house progress photos. One of these was clearly not in the right place, so I just set it aside. It looked like it had been earlier on. I think it was probably from about week 2, which I've already scrapbooked, so I set this picture aside. I don't know about you, but it pains me to not scrapbook the photos, so I think I'll probably end up framing this one at some point. I'm not exactly sure. I just hate wasting photos, if you know what I mean. It's so silly because really it's just a piece of paper and it only cost, what, like 14 cents? It's just crazy to, be so attached to them. So I start decorating this card and realize I want it to be next to that plan layout. So I end up moving a couple of things around so that I can put these two together. And again, I'm being indecisive. I end up grabbing a different card because I wanted to put the little life acrylic shape up there. I'm pretty sure this is a Felicity Jane item. While digging through my embellishments, I find some more fall things that I want to put aside. I did my reorganization shortly after this video, and I ended up having all of my fall embellishments all together. I'm just pulling out a couple of die cuts. These are from Cocoa Daisy kits. I also end up using a little house flare. I think this is from Felicity Jane, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I end up flipping through embellishments and finding some more fall things, so I go ahead and set all of those aside. And as I'm sorting through things, I also find this little rubber banner from the January Freckled Fawn kit, so I set that aside to use hopefully on another layout in this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and assemble everything. I decided to add one of these cute little tabs from Pink Fresh Studio. These came in an old kit, and I really liked the way this looked. I ended up turning it the other way so that you could see the full circle on there. Next, I'm just going to glue everything down. So for this top card, I'm going to spell out the word real with the same Studio Calico letters I used on the previous page, and then I'll have the life acrylic shape right underneath it. I also decided to add one of the little banner shapes from the February Freckled Fawn kit. I really just liked this one and it matched the colors on this layout. Those chipboard shapes also came with this one that said Dream Big, and I wanted to use it with the house because it really is going to be my dream home. I've dreamt about a house like this my whole adult life, probably even my teenage life, so it is a big dream of mine. So now I'm starting on another page, and I have quite a few photos They all go along with Olivia playing in the sink with a bubble machine going, and it's just a really cute scene. I wanted a lot of photos because she's just so happy in this, so I end up trying to decide what I'm going to do with the photos. I decide to set them aside and make 2 pages worth of layouts with some of them, and I decided to stick one on this Project Life page. So I'm just kind of flipping through trying to decide which ones are going to go where. On this photo of me with ice cream, I used one of these Let's Eat stickers from Elle's Studio. I really think these stickers are cute. I end up using them a lot. I don't have a whole lot of food-related scrapbook stuff. I should get some more because I always take pictures of food. So if you know of any really good food collections or food-related embellishments, let me know. I really need to get some more. After I got my photos all lined up, I end up having 3 journaling spots left, so I'm just flipping through those fine and dandy cards trying to find 3 spots. I go ahead and work on attaching all of it to my 12 by 12 cardstock before I embellish. I go back and forth. It's like a big giant learning curve. I forget to attach everything before I embellish because some of the embellishments are really thick and it's way easier to just attach everything before I embellish. So I'm really trying to stick with attaching everything first. So now it's time to embellish this page. I pulled out one of these, I think they're called New Brad, from the Posh collection, and like always, I will link to all these supplies in the description box down below if you're interested in anything. I really like these. They don't have the prongs on the back, which make them really easy to just attach to everything. Next, I pop out one of these Felicity Jane labels. I really like these, but they do have little tabs where they're connected to that sheet, so I have to cut those off. I just use my cutter bee scissors for that. Then I just add a little bit of journaling and then my camera battery dies, so I ended up skipping a couple of steps on the filming part. I didn't realize that the camera had cut itself off. Usually it makes like a beeping sound. Totally didn't hear it. Olivia is playing in the background in this video. So I imagine what happened is I'm just sitting there talking to her and not really paying attention to the camera at all. So the only things I missed filming were adding that label to the bottom photo, and then I added 2 of the die cut shapes from the Elle Studio monthly kit. I just added them on that middle card there. And I go ahead and add one of these little giraffe shapes to the bottom card because there's a little giraffe in that photo where Olivia stuck all of the little animals on my desk. I also add one of the little camera shapes to the bottom of that middle card. I thought it looked really cute on there. I add just a little bit of journaling on this top card, and then I look through the same Let's Eat stickers from Elle Studio that I use for all my food-related things. I end up adding one of the little words right on top of the photo. On the top of that top journaling card, I add one of the little resin hearts from the February Freckled Fawn kit, and I attach this with my ATG. The Tombow adhesive probably would work too. When there's a larger space, I tend to go with the ATG just because it's instant when it sticks. So now moving on to what I thought at this time was my last layout, so I go ahead and attach everything on here. I actually did have some more photos from this week. I had accidentally just stuck them in with my week 4 photos. I printed both of them at the same time, so when I was organizing them, I just stuck them in the wrong one. You'll see at the end, I will attach that footage to this video as well. It ended up working out just fine. So this last photo is Olivia eating some homemade ice cream. I just blend up frozen bananas, and sometimes I add in frozen raspberries or frozen strawberries. And I know I had some little ice cream embellishments. I totally didn't know where they were at this point, so I end up going back and adding that in later. I'll just go ahead and assemble everything to my 12 by 12 cardstock. I add a little yum title from those same Elle Studio stickers, and I save room for the ice cream embellishment that I plan on using down there. I wanted to do a little bit of embellishing on the top 4x6 photo. I added one of these washi tape strips, and then I also grab one of the Felicity Jane little labels to do some journaling up there. And again, I cut off the little tabby pieces on the little label shape. I write my little peekaboo note, and then I grab a January Freckled Fawn sticker. Next, I go ahead and add in some of these vellum phrases from the Freckled Fawn February kit. I really love the way these look. They are a little bit opaque because they are vellum, so it's really nice to just layer them over anything. And it just gives you a different look depending on what you're layering them with. They can look really subtle, or they can be nice and bright. And the last thing I grabbed is a little piece of flair. I don't know what kit this came in. So I came back later to film this part. I just found my little ice cream things that I had thought about. I just didn't know where they were at the time. There definitely have been way too many of these instances lately where I know I had something, I could not locate it. So that's what kind of led to my whole reorganization that you saw in the scrap chat video. I'll link to that in the description box down below. And then I came back to film again. I ended up finding those photos that were also included in the week 3. I've got quite a big stack, but a lot of these are 4x6s, so I decided to make traditional layouts with those and make just one more page of project lifestyle layouts. So I have 3 of these sliding photos that I'm going to make a layout. I've got this donut shop, walking up to the donut shop photo, and then 2 inside. So I'll make these 2 separate layouts. I wanted to just showcase the donut shop all on its own. And then I have some house building ones. I'm going to go ahead and make a traditional layout for those 2. I played around with putting them on the page, and then I decided to just set them aside. I went back and forth because while it does look nice to have the 4x6s in the middle, I felt like the other areas were a little bit too crowded, so I wanted to leave a little bit more space on the layout. I also thought it would be neat to make a home-themed traditional layout of the building process. I'm sure I'll probably do plenty more of the traditional layouts using the home pictures. I'm sure you get it by now that I'm going to have a lot of home building photos every single week. So for this page I was left with 5 journaling card shapes, and I had a few journaling cards set aside from various kits that I wanted to use up, and so they just happened to work out for a couple of these spots. When I saw this weather report card when I was flipping through things, I knew it would be perfect on a layout because this is our first winter in Texas and it is a huge difference. A lot of days we play outside, it's in the 80s some days. It's just been a really nice surprise, so I definitely wanted to capture the weather difference. On one of the sections I wanted to spell out summer with the little alphas. These are Echo Park alphas, and I ended up spelling part of it out with the pink and realizing I didn't have enough letters, so I intermingled the pink and the white ones together. I added one of those Elle Studio food stickers that says yes please. This is just a little, I don't know what it is. It's not a food truck, but it's a tiny little pizza thing, pizza place. So you go up and you order at the window, and then there are picnic tables. It was just a really cute setup. It was the first time we had tried this particular place. I also added one of the puffy stickers from the Cocoa Daisy kits to the journaling card right beside that one. And there was a nice space up on that top journaling card, so I go ahead and put that rubber embellishment on there. This is from the January Freckled Fawn kit. I go ahead and use my ATG to attach everything down. And Olivia came up to my desk, started barking, and I knew she wanted another one of these little doggy sticky notes. She loves these things. She'll come up and ask for one. I go ahead and attach that rubber banner, and then I want to try to pull out some home and food items. I ended up organizing a little bit. It's like the beginning of my reorganization. I pulled out all the food related things and set them in a different bin, and pulled out all my home related things and set it in a different bin. And so it was just kind of like my pre-organizing before I did the full reorganization. I didn't end up pulling out anything I wanted to use on here, but I did go back to that sticker sheet from Cocoa Daisy and I added it to that little house journaling card. On the This Moment card at the bottom, I end up doing a couple of clusters of enamel dots, one at the top and one at the bottom, to kind of just flow down the journaling card. I end up going back and pulling out one of these little flare shapes. I know this was from a Cocoa Daisy kit. I just attach it with my ATG, and I called it done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week 3 video. I'll have week 4 up for you very shortly. I actually ended up voicing over the week 4 before this one because I had a problem with importing footage. So I ended up getting the week 4 footage imported all the way. And so I just ended up voiceovering it first. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.